On Earth, there are millions of abandoned places waiting to be explored, but some of them exceed all explorers' expectations. Places that are so immense, unusual and unique that it's hard to believe they really exist. And what if, somewhere, there was an abandoned tower that was supposed to be the tallest skyscraper in the world? Today, we're taking you with us to discover the fascinating story of the tower that almost reached a kilometer in height, the Jeddah Tower.
Hello everyone, it's Gabriel.
And Corentin. And today we're going to tell you about a project that was abandoned and almost became the tallest tower ever built by man.
If you're in the city of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, this tower, which was supposed to be called the Kingdom Tower, was meant to be one of the symbols of power in the region by reaching unmatched heights.
This tower is really the definition of striving for greatness, because in addition to being the first tower that was supposed to surpass the famous 1 kilometer mark, it was supposed to reach a height of 1,600 meters.
However, due to land and geology issues, the maximum height was reduced to 1,000 meters, which is still downright outrageous. And as you can imagine, this is happening in Saudi Arabia, the land of extravagance.
This region is known as a place where anything can happen. We've already shared an urbex story about the abandoned supercars.
Look at this, I find a lot of abandoned race cars and...
There are also convoluted projects, like for example the line, which is supposed to be a city several kilometers long, confined to a single line.
You can also find the world map made out of sand islands, which is a project that was completely abandoned. So it's really a region where you find all kinds of completely crazy projects and you can see there's money to spend.
And if we're talking to you about this project today, it's because it really did get started, but it ended up being abandoned.
And it became an architectural mystery.
This tower, which was supposed to push the limits of engineering and architecture, quickly turned out to be a nightmare full of obstacles. And so, starting in 2019, this construction site was halted and left abandoned.
In this video, we will go back to the origins of the project, the obstacles that may have derailed it, as well as the uncertain hopes surrounding its future.
So get ready to discover the story behind the construction of this iconic tower and its uncertain fate.
To understand its history, we must return to this titanic project's origins. In the beginning, the Jeddah Tower was a bold dream, and the leaders of Saudi Arabia had decided to embark on an architectural adventure, planning to position it on the world stage.
From creating deep foundations to support the tower, to using cutting-edge technologies, many crucial steps allowed the Jeddah Tower to take shape.
It all begins with an ambitious vision. Behind the scenes of power in Saudi Arabia, visionary leaders dreamed of making their nation a global center of commerce, culture, and modernity. To realize this vision, they designed the Jeddah Tower.
This tower was so large that it could accommodate up to 40,000 occupants, and nearly 8,000 people would work there every day.
The top speed of the 50 or so elevators in the tower would be 35 kilometers per hour. And in terms of the amount of steel used for the construction of the tower, it would be 7 times the amount used for the Eiffel Tower.
This tower was supposed to be so tall that if you were at the top and dropped a stone, it would take more than 18 seconds to reach the ground.
And these are really crazy numbers that we've never seen before for any tower. And that's really the goal of this tower, to break absolutely all the records.
With all these crazy statistics, construction began in 2013 and was theoretically supposed to be completed in 2025 for a total of 167 floors.
And the most important thing for the Jeddah Tower was to have good foundations, which would take a year to build. The workers will drive 270 miles down to a depth of 110 meters to have really solid foundations and to be able to support the rest of the structure.
If Saudi Arabia decided to embark on such a project, it was because competition to build the tallest skyscrapers was fierce and everyone wanted to have the tallest.
And a tower of this scale couldn't be built without a team of visionary designers. Renowned architects, engineers, and designers came together to bring this dream to life. And they managed to imagine a revolutionary structure designed to withstand the forces of nature. There are strong winds sweeping through the region, as well as large temperature differences due to the altitude. The Jeddah Tower was therefore destined to become an icon of modern engineering.
But digging and installing these enormous foundations, which require a huge amount of material, was just one of the first small steps in designing this gigantic tower. And for this tower to rise so high, a lot of revolutionary technologies were used.
Starting in 2015, you can start to see the Jeddah Tower rising from the ground. The construction site is really active. Hundreds of workers are working on site, and the first floors of the tower are starting to be built.
All these buildings will be looking at the tower. In fact, the rent of the buildings overlooking the tower is more expensive than the rent inside the tower. But in 10 years' time, this will be the heart of the Jeddah economic city.
Initially, construction goes well, surpassing the symbolic milestones of 10 floors, then 50 floors. But that's when the problems will start to pile up.
As the dream starts to become reality, one of the first problems that will arise is the economic crisis.
Investments are becoming increasingly scarce, the price of oil is starting to fall, and the resources needed to support a project of this scale have become more and more rare. And especially for Saudi Arabia, which is completely dependent on oil and was hit very hard. And that's how the funding needed to complete the Jeddah Tower started to run out, and the project found itself on the brink of financial collapse.
But it wasn't just the crisis that threatened the Jeddah Tower. In fact, both local and international obstacles played a crucial role. New strict construction regulations, bureaucratic delays, and complex political issues blocked the progress of the project. Moreover, the foreign investments needed to keep the project afloat became scarce due to global political and economic uncertainties. And faced with this challenge, the Jeddah Tower's fate was sealed.
And by the way, before we continue the video, we wanted to tell you about the join feature on our channel, which allows you to become a member and get benefits. And above all, it really supports us for our future projects.
You can find lots of exclusive videos in the Forbidden playlist, as well as many early access videos that will be released in a few months.
We recently posted a video of us sleeping in an abandoned psychiatric hospital. Check it out using the link in the description. Thank you.
And in 2018, when the core of the tower had reached almost 66 floors for a height of 266 meters, the construction site was officially halted and later abandoned.
And that's really a problem because Saudi Arabia is left with a structure over 260 meters tall, completely abandoned in the middle of the desert.
And it's quite a unique sight to imagine this structure really in the middle of nowhere, with dozens of cranes there waiting, maybe for the project to come back to life. All of this is quite mysterious.
Obviously, for the government, abandoning such a structure is out of the question, and many discussions are underway to try to revive the project. Many investors are proposing ideas to give new life to this project and make sure that the Jeddah Tower is not abandoned forever.
After 4 years of abandonment, no one knows the tower's condition. It may be damaged or deteriorated. There may already be plenty of renovation needed on what's been built.
One of the reasons why the Jeddah Tower was abandoned is the November 2017 purge. Don't worry, we're not talking about the night when all crimes are allowed. But the Saudi Arabian government launched an operation to eliminate corruption within the country. Many billionaires, princes and ministers were all arrested because they were suspected of corruption. And it's especially this very complicated situation within the country that had repercussions on the development of major projects, such as the Jeddah Tower.
But hopes are high, because once completed, the Jeddah Tower would be a major achievement for Saudi Arabia and a statement to the entire world. And the story of the Jeddah Tower offers a wealth of lessons about the challenges faced by large-scale international construction projects. It raises essential questions about planning, financing, and project management.
And for now, the Jeddah Tower serves as a bit of a lesson to anyone who wants to build towers that tall, especially in politically or economically unstable contexts. The eventual completion of the Jeddah Tower would have repercussions far beyond its own boundaries. It could completely redefine the urban landscape of Jeddah and even Saudi Arabia, boost the local economy, and attract the attention of the whole world, just like the Burj Khalifa does right now.
And we can ask ourselves one last question, which you can also answer in the comments. What will be the ultimate fate of the Jeddah Tower? Will it one day stand proudly among the tallest skyscrapers in the world, or will it remain frozen in its unfinished state?
It's been over 4 years since this building was abandoned, and we're starting to ask many questions, even with heavy security to prevent intrusions. It's still a concrete and steel tower over 260 meters tall, and it can be really very dangerous for the surrounding area.
What's crazy is realizing that it was supposed to be finished in 2025, which is in 2 years, but the project has been completely abandoned for 4 years now, so there aren't many prospects for the future of this famous tower. We decided to talk to you about it in this video because it's still a fascinating building and we would have loved to go explore it. But the problem is that it's very complicated to go explore it because it's located in a country where if you get caught for even the smallest mistake, you go straight to jail.
And even though we've already had the chance to explore some very large buildings, abandoned towers with up to 22 floors, the biggest we've ever done, We've never explored a building of this scale. And for Saudi Arabia, we hope that the day we explore it, it will just be a simple visit and that it will be finished.
But we can't even imagine the anxiety of being a kilometer high up in a tower. Personally, I would be terrified. Just think, when you're at the top, the tip can move by 2.5 meters. It feels like it's dropping by 2.5 meters.
This tower, which has been abandoned for almost 5 years now, with no one knowing whether it will ever surpass the symbolic 1 kilometer mark, is finally seeing a bit of hope. After many tenders and negotiations, it seems that construction on this grandiose project can finally resume. Although the company that will take on the next phase of construction has not yet been chosen, we can imagine that in the coming years, construction on this abandoned tower will resume.
We hope you enjoyed this urban exploration story from a unique place. If so, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
There are many unusual abandoned places worldwide. If you know any, mention them in the comments. Maybe we'll feature them in an urban exploration story.
Thank you all for listening all the way to the end. This was Gabriel in quarantine. Goodbye. Sorry.
Bye. See you next Saturday at 6 p.m.
Bye.